This comparison makes a lot of sense because Realme 6 comes with two of the major features that the OnePlus Nord has. The 30-watt fast charging, which is not a premium feature anymore. Kudos to Realme for bringing this to the mid-range. And there is that 90Hz refresh rate. So is it really worth spending extra 10,000 rupees to get the OnePlus Nord? And how big an upgrade is this? So let's try to find that out. And if you are new to the channel, guys, please subscribe and also like this video. Let's begin. So looking at the design, definitely the OnePlus Nord looks better because of the thinner bezels and the chin, and also it feels compact and also feels lightweight, and actually overall in-hand feel is much better compared to the Realme 6, which feels hefty and kind of bulky in the hand. But yes, the Realme 6 offers a slightly bigger display, and if you turn back you get the glass back on the Nord, whereas on the Realme 6 it's plastic. So in terms of overall design and build, I would definitely give this to the OnePlus Nord. But the Realme 6 has the headphone jack, which the OnePlus Nord does not have, which is a huge deal for a lot of people. And also Realme 6 comes with 2 SIM slots along with memory card support, whereas on the Nord you do not get memory card support, which is again kind of a huge deal. The 90Hz refresh rate feels equally good on either of these, but this actually does not really extend to any new experiences except for the UI. The UI feels kind of smooth compared to the 60Hz, but that's pretty much it. But on the OnePlus Nord you get an AMOLED display, whereas on the Realme 6 it is only LCD, and this definitely translates to a better experience when you're watching movies, consuming content. Definitely the AMOLED is better. Now when you talk about the software experience, Oxygen OS versus the Realme UI, it is kind of a personal preference, but I personally prefer the Oxygen OS because of its simpler, cleaner user interface. But I cannot measure this as an upgrade or a downgrade because it is mostly subjective. But in terms of performance, you can see the benchmark results here. It does not seem to be a huge upgrade. Let's do a quick speed test just to check out the day-to-day performance scenarios. So I actually closed all the apps on both of these devices and they both are connected to the same Wi-Fi network. Let's open some of the most frequently used apps. The YouTube. The Realme 6 was actually first to load, and let's open the Chrome browser. This time I believe it is Nord. Now let's get back to another app. Again, Amazon loads faster on the Nord. Let's try Pubg. I would say it is definitely an incremental upgrade over the mid-range processors, but it is not really sort of a flagship processor, so don't expect much. So yes, the OnePlus Nord actually loaded Pubg a bit faster. But currently if you look at the graphics, the Realme 6 actually supports smooth and extreme settings and also HDR up to ultra, whereas Nord only supports smooth and ultra at the moment and does not even support HDR. So let's hope that OnePlus kind of fixes this with the updates. So a lot of people have already said that the Nord has this fake depth camera. So let's try to do that test on both of these devices. So let's start with the OnePlus Nord. I am actually blocking the last two cameras, the bottom ones, and you can see here that although it is blocked, the depth sensor, I mean you can see it is actually showing the depth effect, so it's working normally, which is strange. Maybe it is kind of using the software to get the depth information. But let's try to repeat the same on the Realme 6, and I'm blocking two cameras again, and you can see here the same thing happens on the Realme 6 as well. They don't come up with any warning message that the depth camera is actually blocked, so that is kind of weird. This is kind of a quick comparison video, so I shot a couple of pictures with both of these devices, and you can look at this picture taken from OnePlus. It is about 5:30 p.m. and it's kind of cloudy, and this is on the Realme 6. The main difference that we see here is the colors. I find the Realme 6 has kind of natural colors, whereas the OnePlus Nord kind of has more impressive colors, at least in this picture. The wide angle is equally bad on either of these. I mean, they are just average. I mean, you don't use these for details, they are just for a different perspective. That's pretty much it. OnePlus definitely should have used a high quality wide angle just to justify that price tag. In this one, the OnePlus seems to have a more contrasty picture. Look at the greens and it kind of seems to be a little bit on the darker side, whereas on the Realme 6, it looks slightly brighter and the greens or the colors actually look slightly better. So this is the wide angle shot, and just by looking at these couple of pictures, it is maybe unfair to kind of judge these two, but so far from what I've seen, again this is from the Realme, the dynamic range looks actually better on the Realme, and that is kind of strange. But in terms of video, the OnePlus goes way ahead. I mean, this is when the super stable is turned on and it shoots in the wide angle mode, and you can see it looks super smooth. This is 4K 30 FPS, and whereas on the Realme 6 you can see it looks a lot shaky and also there is absolutely no stabilization. Now moving to the battery life, the Realme 6 actually has a slightly bigger battery capacity and they both actually offer a pretty decent battery life. In day-to-day usage, I find that the Realme actually offers slightly better battery life compared to the OnePlus, and OnePlus can actually improve on its battery life, and I feel it is slightly less compared to its own capacity, so I hope it kind of improves on that. So is it really worth spending that extra money? So if you really care for that Oxygen OS, the AMOLED display and that slightly better design, definitely go for the OnePlus Nord. Otherwise, it's not really going to be a huge upgrade. So this was a quick comparison, and I did not want to overly talk about the specs. Just wanted to give a quick and concise comparison talking about my daily usage observations about these two phones. So that's been it. If you found this video helpful, please like and also subscribe to this channel. That's been it. Thanks for watching. I'll see you soon.